It sets up for two teams that really have something to prove to themselves, and that makes for good football.
If we want to get to where we want to go, it starts with the Cowboys. So I think that's what our mentality should be.
First down, running, and the ball comes out. That's a fumble, and it's recovered at the 1-yard line. Offense, a great movement. One team, right there. What a perfect pass.
You know that December football games mean a lot more now, and there's always just a little extra something. The games just feel a lot bigger, and they all get a little more meaningful and a little more fun.
Well, what an incredible tackle. Crushed on the play. No chance. Hit from Holland. In goal. Cardinals are back. Monster. Here's the Miami record.
Yo, Miami, welcome back. 305 Sports Talk. We're here with a new guest in our house, Martin. And then we got Eli
hey,
and myself.
Guys?
Back at you.
Thank you guys for having me on the pod. This pod has been awesome. I'm glad to join, put in my intake, and ready to discuss Miami sports.
Yeah, man, welcome. We got, right? Martin. Oh, hey, so welcome back,
Martin.
So welcome back, guys. We're going to go ahead and go into some good news again with the Dolphins beating the Cowboys, also with Miami Heat also doing a nice little winning streak in the last couple of weeks. And so let's start it off with Miami Heat, guys. What's going on with Miami Heat?
So the Heat won a big game yesterday against the Philadelphia Sixers on Christmas Day. We had our rookie, Jaime Jaquez Jr., put up 31 points, 10 rebounds, had his first double-double of his career, also put up a career high in 31 points. Jimmy Butler was out, but he looked like a great replacement for Jimmy Butler.
Awesome, yeah, man, like always, the Miami Heat runs on Duncan. I think resurgence of Duncan has been huge so far for this season. Besides that, you have boy wonder Tyler Hero, making an impact yesterday, especially in the second quarter. He kind of, more towards the fourth quarter, he was like slumping a little bit. But as Martin say, you got Triple J coming in with that rook savvy old school game that he brings into the court with his, you could tell that he's done he has a very complete game where he could score on all three levels. His 3-point has improved since college, and man, I just love him in the post and just doing that little spin move. It's just nice to see.
Yeah, Tyler, I think, has been doing great since coming back from the injury. Since he's been back from the injury, he's been shooting 50% from the field goal, 45% from the 3-point line, and 85% from the free throw. His numbers are just progressing every year, and it's awesome to see him grow. And our future, I think, is looking bright, especially now with this new Jaime Jaquez pickup. The future is bright for us.
Yeah, there's a difference when you see Tyler Hero in the...
There you go, yeah, Bam Adebayo. Right. Yes, sir. He's playing like an all-star this year. Playing like an all-star, he better go to the all-star game.
Oh, hell yeah. He came out yesterday with 26 points, 15 rebounds, some great blocks, defense, anchoring down. Embiid did not play, but, Bam took care of business, and he did what he was supposed to do in the paint. So it's always nice seeing
There's a difference, man.
Bam in the middle.
There's a difference when you see Tyler Hero going in. Bam always, kind of like just dominating the paint and the defense, that he brings along with it. We just need to get our squad back, healthy. And then I think, with that being with a full squad that we have, we're going to be back to, going to the playoffs and being a dominant team again, man. Not to say that we're not already, but I think it's going to be a lot stronger than we are.
I think the Miami Heat, compared to the rest of the Eastern Conference teams, we are the most built together team. We've gone through so much as a team, and I mean, we were in the finals last year. The year before that, we were in the Eastern Conference Finals, just a game away from the finals. Like, we've already built up that chemistry that I feel like we are the team to beat in the East. Obviously, you do have the Milwaukee Bucks, but I think they're still trying to figure it out. The same thing with the 76ers. You have Embiid there with Tyrese Maxey. It's a good duo, but can they do anything in the playoffs? We'll see. And then, of course, you have the Boston Celtics. I mean, they look great. They're a new team with Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, but they don't have the depth So that's why I feel like we have the advantage between all the teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah.
Like you said, we do have depth. I think that's one of the things that's different about this team. You look at a game like yesterday where you had, Jimmy and Highsmith were both out of the game. Highsmith is, that D guy that comes into the game and he provides good defense, and he's that 3-and-D guy, shoots those corner threes very well, and he just makes plays for the team. And then all of a sudden, Martin leads the game with an ankle sprain, and then you're also dealing with, you'll think that in other years you wouldn't have that depth to be able to replace those players, but then all of a sudden, you guys, the resurgence of Duncan and Triple J coming in there and really adding more and more fuel to that bench, which is it's a big thing for the Heat. So whenever we do get healthy, I Eric's going to have to decide how he's going to handle that rotation, but that's a good problem to have,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
right,
Duncan.
Kevin Love. And Love and Lowry have had a resurgence in their career, both. So I love the way Love is playing, and Lowry has been playing much better the past few weeks too.
I love it. They're playing a great veteran role in this team. They know their roles, and I like how they're showing the vet side of them to the other players on the team. And I feel like that builds the bond even stronger. And when everybody knows their own roles, it's easier to work with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have to.
then
I was gonna say one of the things that we have to look into also is where we are, compared, like you guys were saying, in our Eastern Conference, right? We have Boston and Milwaukee that's going to be the top, two teams right now, and the 76ers being in third place. But we definitely saw that we could contend with them as well. And it's going to be your typical top teams with Boston and Milwaukee like last year, which we kind of beat them through, but let's see what we could do at the end. I think we have the squad towards the end to make it happen again.
Resurging teams in the East as well. The Orlando Magic has a very young team, and a lot of depth on that team. Very young, very raw, and they have been playing very well lately. So I mean, it's just to say that it's going to come down to Milwaukee, Boston of the worlds, and then you sprinkle in the Knicks a little bit there. But I think the East is going to be very competitive this year, and definitely the Heat are going to be in the mix.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I 100% agree with you there. Just another thing to touch up on the Magic. They are doing a lot better than they have done in the previous years, but we did beat them a couple games ago, so we did show that we are still the dominant team here in Florida. They are the baby team, exactly. We are the big brothers, and we still got to assert that dominance every time we play them. They have good young talent, but we have great young talent as well, and it's going to be a good rivalry coming in the upcoming years.
Yeah, I think the big difference is between a lot of those other teams is coaching, right? So Eric Spoelstra, Mr. 9-0 on Christmas Day games.
Yes, sir.
If you compare him to other, Milwaukee has a new coach. The Celtics are going year 2 on Mazzulla experiment there. So there's a lot of still inexperienced coaching going on in the East. So I do feel very comfortable. When it's time to make a run, we will make that run.
Yeah, I think with Spo still leading the team the way he normally does, I mean, he's gonna be making it happen like he does, every year. One of the things that is consistent is that Spo knows how to go ahead and put the team together and put the right people in place to make it dominant towards the end. So as long as we stay healthy, I think we're in a good position.
Yeah, that, and then I believe also our depth is another factor into our team being as good as we are. Again, now that the players are not playing right now, like Jimmy Butler and Caleb Martin are now out, you have players like Jamal Cain or RJ Hampton stepping up, maybe finding those minutes, and maybe we find something in them that we didn't know before, and we could use that later in the season, and mostly maybe in the playoffs. Like anything can happen. So
Jamal Cain was putting the lockdown on Maxey yesterday, and Jamal Cain's another of those 3-and-D guys in a long history of 3-and-D guys for the Miami Heat. I go back all the way with Keith Haskins back in the day, and Bruce Bowens. Guys that had their role on the team, and they were like lock-up guys, and they were able to hit those corner threes, kind of like what Highsmith is doing right now for the team. So, I think that's one of the big things about the Miami Heat. Everybody was saying that, we're going to miss Gabe Vincent, who now, the Lakers are crying over, big-time Lemon Law they're screaming in California right now, and then you have Max Strus that left to Cleveland. But everybody's saying how we're going to replace these guys. Well, while we're making our run, you're saying that these undrafted guys.
Yeah, for real.
And now suddenly when they leave us, now the narrative is how we're going to replace them. Well, we replace them how we do it every single year, but with other guys. Next man up.
We just know how to develop these players to play into these roles, and that's why, it does suck when those players like in Max Strus or Gabe Vincent leave, but we always have that development team. Like, we're always looking out for the next piece. We're not losing them. Like, if they were important, we would have kept them, but I think that the organization has a lot of trust in that development side that we're just going to find another diamond in the rough.
I agree. I agree.
And like I said, the resurgence of Duncan is huge for the team right now.
That's where I say that
his resurgence has been amazing. I love it.
And not just a 3-point shooter. The Duncan has showed his scoring and playmaking ability. Him and Bam have great synergy. So it's not just a 3-pointer. It's just his overall game has.
Yeah, he's expanding his game. He's driving it in. He's passing it out. Like, he's actually doing more plays on the ball, creating for others. He's not making his play predictable. So, like, back then, people would only think that he does a spot up threes. Now he just pump fakes a three, drive it into the layup, reverse layups. Like, he's just doing it all right now. And his defense has also improved. So I think that he's a crucial piece going into the season and into the future.
Yes, sir.
I think what makes it important is having the management, the coaching that we have today, the culture, because that's what's keeping the Heat relevant. And that's what's been consistent year after year. And that's where we have, gone towards the finals multiple times in the past few years. And, I would say we haven't won one in a minute, but still not so long enough to go ahead and say that it's not going to happen again with the squad that we have today. So I think it's still looking to be a possibility for us to get to that level. All right, guys. So let's do a transition. I know that you guys wanted to go ahead and give some shout outs to other sports.
Well, it's Miami, Leo Messi's team. We got a big signing recently. We signed Luis Suarez, his former playmate over there at Barcelona. So now you just have more in that reunion squad. You have Sergio Busquets. You have Leo Messi, Luis Suarez. So it's going to be a good upcoming future for them. Maybe they're going to compete more in other matches. It just looks good for us. We have the new stadium they're building. So the future looks bright for Inter Miami.
Yeah, no, that's huge, man. Soccer in Miami is huge.
I think it's only going to increase because Leo Messi is, the GOAT of soccer. So, of course, that viewership is going to rise for sure.
Yeah, and the backing of Apple and big corporations, having Messi in the U.S. and expanding his brand recognition.
The marketing for it right now is awesome.
It's been global. It's always been a global appeal, but having that appeal here in the United States for him is just huge. Kind of like you always had these Latin singers like Shakira and stuff that. They started their careers first in Latin America and other places, and then they transitioned to the U.S.
And now they're mainstream, and everybody knows who they are. Exactly.
And that's exactly what's going on with Lionel Messi and soccer in general. Yeah, man. I just want to, send a little shout out to them.
Let's go.
They finished one hell of a recruiting class. Had a couple big flips. The last day they had the running back from Ohio State flip to UM. They also had that linebacker that was committed to the Gators. That 4-star big guy. Benches over 400 pounds, over 600 pound squat. Big linebacker, thumper, athlete. And then we ended up the night with flipping back to the Canes defensive end Blunt. He's like 16 years old and about to enter UM next month as an early enrollee. He's a South Florida Miami legend. Him and Bain, when they played together at Central last year, were racking up the sacks like crazy. And this year he had a phenomenal year for Central. And having those two guys, Blunt and Bain, and just the rest of that recruiting class, that defensive line is going to be super nasty the amount of talent we have coming in. The only thing we're waiting right now for the Hurricanes, which we'll talk a little bit more about next week, is the quarterback situation. And I think it's gonna take care of itself. On Thursday we have the bowl game, and I kind of want to see how Jacoby Brown is, and see what else we get from the transfer portal. So all good.
Yeah, man. I think we have an exciting squad coming in. On paper, we're looking good, but it's always about how we're gonna go ahead and execute on the field. Crystal Ball, like you had mentioned before, is a good recruiter. As for the coaching, I think he still has something to prove regarding getting a winning season. That's the thing that he still has to go over that hump. Give us a winning season, because I don't. So far, he hasn't shown it.
Well, but
when it comes to
technically we had a winning season, but I mean a successful season. A successful season, we haven't had a successful season in a while.
When I say winning season, is us, really kind of like being in the top 25. And sometimes it's we land there at the beginning. The what?
I want top 5. We need to be top 5. And here's the thing, though, right?
What I'm saying is the top 25 is where you could go ahead and say, you know what, you are one of the top seeds, right? But we haven't been there. We haven't been there in a minute. So, we start like that, and then towards the end we fall. So great to be top 5, but damn, we're not even top 25 at the end. So
that's true. Because we always lose big games in the conference.
It's the first step into building is building a strong foundation, and it comes with players. You need to recruit. That's Butch Davis took. People think that Butch Davis often he had the 2000 and 2001 teams were already created. I remember 1995, 96, 97, 98, 99. A lot of heartbreak into that groundbreaking game in the Orange Bowl where Andrew James went crazy in 99 and. He had all those yards, and we beat the number 1 ranked UCLA team led by Kenny McMahon in the Orange Bowl. It was a great game.
But again,
it took time to get there.
Right, but how much time, right? Because we could say that about any team. It takes time. Look, McDaniels, right? We could say, oh, he did it so quick. So where's the time? Right now he's proving that our team is pretty damn good, and he's been in the same time.
I agree to that to a certain extent, because McDaniels did have a lot of old Dolphin players that were established and made by Brian Flores. So we already had that connection. He just added maybe a few more pieces.
Flores.
And he perfected his system. I think he perfected it because you had Brandon Jones, you had Christian Wilkins, Sealer, Van Ginkel. Right. They were there since before. So
I get it, but.
And then you trade for Tyreek Hill and
just make a couple of right moves. You just make a couple of right moves, yeah.
And Bradley Chubb, and then the drafting of Jalen Phillips
and Jalen Waddle.
Let's not pretend that Brian Flores did not have 2 winning seasons before McDaniel got there.
He did, yeah. Mainly off the defense, but
let's not pretend that the team did not win 10 games and 9 games before. Like there was 2 winning seasons before McDaniels got there. They just mathematically they didn't make the playoffs because we went 10-6 and we didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah,
yeah. Again, I would say Cristobal is not right now to the level of the success that McDaniels is. So to my point is we want him to get there. But with this drafting class that he has and this new roster that he's building, we hope that he's going to go ahead and make it happen and make that whatever it is that it's on paper show on the field, because that's a huge difference.
For sure.
All right, well,
you gotta show it, man. Go back. Like I said, man, I suffered through the Butch Davis era, and eventually we got there. And I have all the faith in the world that Mario Cristobal is going to get us there, and I'm a fan, bro.
I hope, man. Yeah, I believe. As
he was good over there in Oregon. Like he showed his potential before. Like why can't he do it with us? Like, and he's from Miami too, so
he has pedigree.
As a Hurricane fan,
he mentored under Nick Saban. He mentored Nick Saban. He was Nick
Yeah.
Saban's assistant coach. The offense line, he's building in the trenches. He built up the offensive line. He got more offensive linemen in there. He's building up the defensive line. It all starts in the transition to the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
It all starts
No, yeah.
on the line. And
Yeah.
Right. So going to the Dolphins with a nice success against the Cowboys. It was a close game, man. Very, very too close for comfort, but we got the W.
Hey,
So
a win is a
that's-
win. I'll take it. A win is a win.
That's the important part. The important part is that we got the W. And you know what I was impressed more so with anything is our defense. Our defense really just kind of ate up the Cowboys, man. Yeah, they had a little couple of instances where the
Little
Cowboys
hiccups.
they did kind of made some plays on them, but I mean we were killing that offensive line going through and just making it a hard time for them to go ahead and develop any run, any pass. We threw off their timing so many times. So and that's to the credit of our defensive line. And our linebackers. I mean, they were eating them up.
yeah, I think when you look at that game, especially in the first drive, right? They were driving the ball down the field. Big play to that cool big plays to Lamb and stuff like that, and they got the ball all the way down to like the 1 yard line, and then they threw that. I guess it was it wasn't a screen pass, but it was a sweep or something.
So it's
And-
a Pollard, and Pollard he
That's
didn't get in the end zone.
Mhm.
He missed it.
Yeah.
Elliott made an amazing play, right? And it was cleaned up by Sealer that left them out. They got the first down. They got the ball down to the 1 yard line. Amazing play he did to keep Pollard out of the end zone. And then on the very next play, it was like,
They botched the fumble.
It's like the guys were saying, you know what, bro, we're gonna make one up for the whole Tennessee tight end ordeal, and they're gonna say this, and the Cowboys being the Cowboys. Like my cousin who was with me kept on telling me the Cowboys are gonna be the Cowboys. They're gonna do Cowboy shit, and they fumbled, and that was like a huge play in the game. But and then the defense tightened up after that, and they did make Dak Prescott's life hell for most of the game, and it starts from the inside with Wilkins and Sealer, and then it ends up with the Gink and Chubb's.
And Chubb, Chubb I think had a sack and a half with Sealer. I mean, they balled out. The D line balled out. He had 4 sacks on Dak Prescott. I think it was like 3 tackle for losses. And we pressured the QB like about 12 times. We hit Dak Prescott 12 times, which is pretty impressive. We showed that we're a force to reckon with. I think our defense has been great. They've been the reason this season why we've been finishing out these games. Our offense has been great, but our defense wins championships. And I believe that if our defense stays healthy, we have the depth. We could potentially go far. And that's what I hope for us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game had 1.5 sacks and 10 tackles.
Yeah, 10 tackles.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The thing is, when you have a good team, in defense and offense, you're going to go ahead and have one support the other more in certain games. And this is what happened. This is what we're seeing more now than the offense, right? The defense is stepping it up. And I'll take no matter like you guys say, right? A win is a win. But the offense didn't really make it happen for that win. I think the defense kind of had more of an influence for that win. Doesn't matter that the offense, didn't do as much as they normally do. With I see kind of some of our top players like Hill. He wasn't 100%. Still did a couple of plays here and there.
I mean, he had a bunch of good plays that down the stretch it took us. It won us the game. I mean, 9 catches for 98 yards.
Yeah.
That one catch that he did drop. He was coming off the injury as well too. So it wasn't bad coming off an injury game. The only thing that sucks now is that Jalen Waddle is out with the high ankle sprain. So I think that he may be out for the rest of the regular season. That's fine with me. I think we should save for the playoffs.
Don't not so fast, my friend. Because
let's see.
It is a high ankle sprain, and there is a lot of still evaluation and stuff that has to happen before you rule him out for the Baltimore game. I do think one of the, if I was going to highlight a player on offense that, stepped up, and I remember having a conversation with, my coach that I trained with, and he was like, the problem with the Dolphins is they don't throw to the tight end. They never throw to the tight end. Da, 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 da. And then when you look at the game and, the way it continued to go on, and the way the Cowboys were playing that zone defense, the Dolphins immediately changed their game plan. They started hitting Durham Smythe down the middle, and then for first downs. And if you look at some of the main drives that we had, especially right before the half, it was Tua throwing to Durham Smythe for first downs. Smythe had 5 catches for 56 yards and averaged 11.2 yards.
That was a season high, I'm pretty sure, too.
I'm pretty sure that is too, but just imagine if the Dolphins had a real dynamic tight end, what type of damage we'll do. But it just shows the type of resiliency and adaptability that Dolphins have. Yes, we lost Jalen Waddle very early in the game. First time we lost him because he got poked in the eye, and then the second time we lost him because of the high ankle chin injury that he had. But then you look at guys like Cedric Wilson, who was very important in the last drive, had 3 catches for 42 yards. You had guys like Alec Ingold that had two receptions, especially one very important one in the last drive for 12 yards. So overall,
and what's up with that guy? That guy. What's up with Ingold always doing that leap, bro? That leap.
The hurdle, man. The hurdle's awesome. What are you talking about, man? He's trying to be on House of Highlights.
But that's a substantial move, bro.
Yeah, that's his MO. I see him always doing that lead, that little hurdle, and then he's gonna, that's how you get injured too,
he's
man.
Gonna get hurt though. I know that's right.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's one of our most important players. He's one of our most important players. So I'm pretty sure McDaniel's in his ear telling him not to do that. Maybe like cut it out.
It's like, hey,
do your blocking.
Listen, I know you're gonna make sports. I know you're gonna be a clip in Sports Center, but damn, watch out, man. Because we
need you. Yeah, we need you.
It's a big possibility. Yeah. Exactly, but to your point, Eli, that it's good that we're spreading the ball, with other players in the squad. Hill, was the top receiver, for the last game, but again, I would say it wasn't the normal Hill that we normally receive. That he's just like the top guy making extraordinary plays. He did a lot of consistent plays here. But I didn't see like one of his top plays in this game. But he definitely was a major contributor to the game.
I do want to mention something about this is that we were facing the Cowboys defense, and they have one of the best pass defenses in the league. That's true. And another thing I want to give credit to is Tua. Nobody's talking about Tua, how he balled out almost 300. He had 293 yards, a touchdown,
84.
No interceptions, no fumbles. He played good against a Cowboys defense that shut down the Eagles. Tua's not getting enough credit. I just want to give Tua his shout out because I love Tua. Tua's him. Tua, and then also Jason Sanders, man. Jason Sanders was MVP of the game.
The Colonel definitely came through with 5 field goals. But and that's a guy that's been taking a lot of heat lately from Dolphin fans because he has never been the same guy he was in the 2020 season.
It was his rookie year.
Like 94% or something. But I'll say this, right? When we talk about the Dallas defense, you're talking about their front, right? And you're talking about guys like Parson and then Lawrence and stuff like that. And, for the most part, all the Cowboys fans, they bitch and cry, oh, they're holding. Dude, you're going against 4 fucking backups, bro. 4 backups.
And the craziest part is that they only allowed 1 sack. That's the craziest part.
Like, that's the craziest shit. So you guys can cry you want, we didn't have Smith in our offensive line. Dude, we're missing 4 guys, dog. We had like a bunch of undrafted guys. We're literally the undrafted version of the Heat. Balling out and opening up holes, especially on that last drive where you had Jeff Wilson, cutting back and getting those yardage and pretty much ran out the clock, dog.
Yeah, no, he was MVP that last drive because he got those crucial first downs.
But that's what a good team does, right? A good team has their players injured, and that in football, that's inevitable. You're going to have some injuries throughout the season. But who's going to come and pick it up? Who's going to be, the bench that's going to go ahead and take over and make it happen? I mean, that's the story of Van Ginkel, right? That guy is balling out.
Yeah, he stepped up.
Yeah,
stepped up.
I mean, that's what we do. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and that's the credit to the coaching staff. That's a credit to the development.
Yeah, it's the next man up mentality.
Yeah. So if another team is complaining about having their man down, and that's why they lost it, because if they had the man, hey, boo-hoo, right? Because every team goes through that. So that's not even an excuse, man. That just means we were in a better team that developed their players better, and we had the opportunity to go ahead and make plays. Period. That's it.
Yeah, to be Micah Parson is Mr. Oh, I'm gonna complain about this, a bitch about that. You know what, bro? I was going back and forth with my cousin. He was like, "Oh, he should be the next LT." I'm like, "No, he's not. I never saw LT bitch and complain about shit as much as this Parson guy does." But LT, you just go out there and just dominate and kick ass, bro. But Micah Parson, bro, you're going up against 4 freaking backups, and he barely was. They barely called your name. I mean, it was just one of those situations where the Dolphins were prepared for it and they stepped up. And give a lot of shout outs to McDaniel and Tua, because they recognized the fact that we're going against a very good defensive line and they were getting the ball out super quick. So yes, you guys were saying that Tyreek Hill wasn't Tyreek Hill. I think that was by design, get the ball out of Tua's hand and not have him hold the ball on those longer plays. So I think, a lot of respect to McDaniel, a lot of respect that he still has a little tendency to do little cutesy plays a little bit that loses yardage, especially as we're getting to the goal line, which puts the team back more and led to a lot of those field goals.
Yeah, overall, there was that one drive.
That first quarter drive that we went on for in the red zone, that to me was just ridiculous. Yes, if we would have scored, it would have been great, but come on, is that a needed play at that time? It wasn't. And we didn't.
He likes to be risky. He likes to be risky when that happens.
7-6. I would have been happy 7-6 at that point.
You take any points you can get. Exactly.
Bro,
you take any points you get against the Cowboys.
Cedric Wilson, the fake pattern against Cedric Wilson, he's like 6 points, like our tallest receiver. If I'm gonna do a fake pattern, where the fuck is Claypool, bro? Let's just
for real. He has the size for that type of play. Exactly.
He's built for that. But I do think moving on towards Baltimore and potentially Buffalo, I think Claypool will get more opportunity with the team, and you're going to see new wrinkles coming up, and I guarantee that one.
The next two teams are going to really determine: are we ready to be a playoff team? Are we ready to really? Because to get to the playoffs, great. That's just the doors opening for the potential. It's how we do in the playoffs, and how we go ahead and play the last 2 games is going to be a huge factor for us to go ahead and go into the playoffs ready. Because Baltimore is a tough game at Baltimore, and Baltimore is balling right now. I mean, they made the San Francisco 49ers look like not a good team when they're a great team. I know Purdy went down.
Basically did that to the Super Bowl favorites.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But again, Purdy went down, but still, no matter what, that's a big factor. Bro. So that's
he went before he went down. He threw 4 picks. I'm sorry to say. And by the way, I mean, again, Shanahan got super cute at the goal line there. Instead of giving the ball to McCaffrey, you're throwing fucking passes with fucking Donald, whatever his name is, the former Jets quarterback. And it's
Sam Darnold. Yeah,
Sam Darnold's like Mr. Icy Ghost. On the field, guy. Remember that shit?
I forgot about that.
I don't understand, bro. You have an overpowering look, and I get this. The 49ers are gonna have some pain because they also lost their left tackle, and to a growing injury. And a man that age and that big with a growing injury is not.
It's hard to recover. Yeah, it's hard to recover from that injury.
The 49ers are going some stuff because last time he was injured, they lost 3 games in a row. So, but what I'm trying to say is that the 49ers try to be cute. I think McDaniel should really look at himself sometimes, and as you're driving the ball, stop being cute, bro. You have Raheem, you have Jeff Wilson. They're tough running backs. If you want to, if you want to run little maybe a screen or something to A-chain or something like that, that'd be great. But
like an option play or something. Like I'm pretty sure the option play could have worked in that scenario as well. With A-chain, because they're so quick, you could just rush to the side. Nobody's gonna tackle you because they're gonna beat you.
Yeah, an RPO.
We gotta utilize the speed like we normally do, man.
Use the tight end or something. And again, bro, I think getting Claypool the ball, around the goal line, even on a wide receiver screen where he catches the ball and he uses his physicality and his size. I think that's where Claypool's really going to come up for us and do some plays like that. Going back to the defense a little bit, next man up, like Riley, the linebacker. So right now we have Long, who's the number 1 rated linebacker against the rush, right? And then we have Riley, who's the number 13th rated linebacker against the pass. I think when you look at the strategy behind what's coming up with Baltimore, the main thing is to try to keep Lamar Jackson a pocket quarterback. I think once you get him running outside the pocket and doing his little thing back and forth, and and then tiring out the secondary, I think that's where you get into problems. But if you're able to keep Lamar Jackson within the pocket and pressure him up the middle and make sure our ends are staying home, and I think our linebackers like Long and Riley are going to have a huge game in containing.
I agree, man.
Lamar Jackson. And then I also heard today that potentially Holland might be coming back for this game. He said that he's going to see how he progresses through practice. He was on the Huckman and Crowder show today, his usual Tuesday segment, and he said that he's progressing. I think having Holland back will be huge for the Dolphins against Lamar Jackson, especially all the things he does with the ball in his hand.
I agree 100%. Man. I think, like you say, if our linebackers really step it up and contain Lamar, we rush him, and that's because here's what one thing about Lamar is if he doesn't have the time and he starts scrambling, he starts getting sloppy with throwing the ball, and that's where our team could go ahead and just make those turnovers. I think it's going to be a good thing in regards to our team, having the potential to limit his, running, because he likes to run a lot. But if we catch him and we stop him and he starts making those sloppy throws, that's going to be an opportunity for our defense to make those scores that they've been doing so often, man. With our linebackers, I think having him as a pocket maker.
I think having him as a pocket
we're going to have to contain him. Yeah, we're going to have to contain him. But
I don't think he's a great. I don't think he's a great pocket passer. I think he makes plays running out and he's not good as far as like where Tua's good at. Tua's good as an anticipation and throwing into windows and a lot of things.
Slamming it off right, yeah.
Where Lamar Jackson is not great. He doesn't have that elite accuracy to do that type of offense.
Yep.
His offense is more the improvisation, getting to the outside. I think he needs to see the receiver open in order for him to make the play.
Exactly, yeah.
He's one of those. So he's good, and he buys himself a lot of time.
I mean, we've done it before. I mean, we played against the Ravens last year. That game plan wasn't too terrible. It's just containing Lamar Jackson is the main goal. If you do that, you basically shut down the rest of the team. Baltimore defense, on the other hand, they do look pretty scary. But if our offense, if we have Tyreek Hill playing like Tyreek Hill and Tua doing his thing and our running backs are involved in the game, we use more Achane, maybe we could open up the game. I think it's possible. They're a good team. They're missing a few people as well. So anything can happen. I know that we're not good in cold games, especially not Tua. But again, this is a good test. Like you were saying before, because now our next two matchups are playoff teams. Last week was nice. We beat the Cowboys, a playoff team. But that was a good step. But now we just need to do it within our conference. Because our next two teams are basically contenders for the Super Bowl. You have the Bills and then the Ravens. Those are the legit.
Right.
And then I guess you have the Chiefs if you want to throw in the Chiefs just out of respect. But, I think this is a good test to see where we're at.
Yeah, I thank Taylor Swift for making the Chiefs not good anymore. So that's one of the things that we gotta. That's one of the things we gotta go ahead and say. Thanks, Taylor. All the Swifties kind of like Swift out KC. So that's a good
thank you,
position.
Swifties. Appreciate you.
Yeah, but to be honest, man, I think there's one thing that's undefeated, and that's Father Time. I just think that Kelsey. He's 34 years old, man. I mean, he came into the season. He wasn't 100% healthy. He got hurt during camp. You look at him. He looks slower. He looks more methodic when he runs. One of the first things as you age that you start losing is your agility. And when you look at him play, I don't see the same guy that was before. And it's even worse when you don't have the same type of skill players around you, where it helps you. They take the load off you as much, and I think not having the elite receivers anymore on the team has hurt them, and their offense line.
That's going to be. That's going to be a factor, yeah. That's going to be a factor for any team, right? And Father Time is not going to forgive any top player to decline. But the good thing is that it works in our favor for them to decline. And we hope that we're going to go ahead and continue with beating Baltimore, and of course Buffalo. It's going to be another challenge, for us. But good thing we have that game at home. So that's going to be to our advantage.
Most likely that game is going to decide a division. If we don't win next week, that's definitely a division game. If the Bills win next week, then we definitely have a division game on hand. So whoever wins that last week will be a division the champion, and they're going to get the home game. I think that's crucial. I think we need to get locked down the home game because we are, I believe we're 7-1 at home. That one loss was that Titans loss that we don't talk about. But I think we do need to secure that home field advantage.
It's going to be interesting to see if Kyle Hamilton is able to play for the Ravens. He was knocked out against 49ers. He left the game with a knee injury. Harbaugh said today they're optimistic on it, but right now a lot of coaches they like playing that game because they're not going to say, well, he looks out for the game. No, you want the Dolphins to prepare for him. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Kyle Hamilton is a Swiss Army knife for the Ravens, and he's a really good safety. So we'll see what happens. But you know what? I said before we started this stretch, I said this. We need to be able to play ball, and no matter what comes, in the playoffs, you don't choose who you play in the playoffs. So whoever next team up is who we play, and that's how we have to be. We have to be confident enough to beat anybody, because that's what it takes in the playoffs.
And I think again, man, we have a good squad. We have a balanced team with our defense kind of really stepping it up towards the end of the season. And if their consistency is going to move game after game, we have a very good chance. And then if our offense steps up to the greatest show on the field with our offense stepping it up with the passing and the running, because the Cowboys did limit our running a bit. But one of the good things is that we're very open to so many options in the offense. It's just a matter of how consistent are we, and our defense is going to be the difference maker as well. But all right, guys, so that's a wrap. We're going to go ahead and end the show with that fact. So thanks again, Martin, to go ahead and join on this segment. And Ellie, as always, Inside is always on point. So 305 Sports Talk coming at you again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Peace.
Let's go Dolphins.